With it believed by those in WWE that Vince McMahon will return to creative and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. On his drive-thru podcast, Jim Cornette talked about Ronda Rousey after she lost the SmackDown Women's title to Charlotte Flair, saying, if Ronda Rousey did not have the name and reputation that she had from the MMA world or UFC, she wouldn't be on television. There's Charlotte's a star, and then there's Ronda. Hopefully, is this the end of the Rousey experiment? Ronda Rousey wanted to be a wrestler until she got a little taste of it. She wasn't even a full-time wrestler. The first run, okay? Then she goes to have kids and raise goats, and I'm not even kidding folks, look it up. Rousey recently mentioned going after the women's tag title with Shayna Baszler, so she is more than likely sticking around in WWE. With Vince McMahon returning to the WWE Board of Directors, MVP seemingly made reference to this in a tweet, writing, "Professional wrestling evolves, just like everything else. I don't like pineapple pizza. No Italian ever dreamed of putting pineapple on a pizza, but some fool did it and millions of people love it. I don't think the pizza is ruined, I just don't enjoy it as much." In the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer noted how Vince McMahon was not a fan of Jim Ross and how Steve Austin prevented Ross's firing from WWE. Austin, a loner who really didn't get involved in others' business at a time he had the power where he could have, made an exception and went to bat for and saved his announcing job in 1999. Vince Russo and others felt his character had to be destroyed because of his popularity, but that his face, after suffering a second bout of Bell's palsy and the lingering question regarding his southern accent, were detriments to the Raw broadcast. The destruction of Ross's character as an insane buffoon who went postal about no longer being on Raw was starting to take hold. Speaking of Jim Ross, he would fire back at fans that want him to retire from commentary, saying on his podcast, "I read about it every day. When is JR going to quit? When is JR going to get off Wednesday? I gotta get off the air. Well, you know, I got no timeline on this thing. I know when my agreement with Tony Khan is up, but does that mean I'm not going to continue? No. Does that mean that I'm going to, at that point, make the final decision that, hey, this is I've had enough, I'm tapping. I want to work less hours. I'm going to work less travel. I'm not going to fly every week, whatever it may be. It's still to be determined. But you're the older you get and you don't pass up on those opportunities." Recalling a segment in WWE with Christian where the two had their towels taken by Spike Dudley on the entrance ramp, Chris Jericho told Inside the Ropes, "We would be standing there in front of 10,000 people naked." I'm like, so how do we disguise this? He's like, you don't. I said to Michael Hayes, are you kidding me? He goes, well, you don't want to do it? I said, do you? I'm not a Chippendales dancer. There are kids in the crowd. I'll get arrested for being a pedophile. I go to the office. He's like, hey, heard you have a question about today? I said, I don't have a question. I have a statement. I'm not doing it. I'm not standing naked in front of a crowd on Monday Night Raw. He's like, damn it, what are we supposed to do then? Jericho brought up getting kicked off the air for showing their genitals. Alternatively, he pitched to Vince that the seamstresses could make skin tone thongs and they could put a blurry sensor over their midsection on TV. On his podcast, Kurt Angle spoke about working for WWE on the Saudi Arabia shows, where he explained why he likes doing so. I love that. And the main reason is money, money, money. You know, when you go to these places, they spend a lot of money. These were bought shows. Saudi Arabia bought them from WWE, and I believe it was like $1 billion for 5 years, where they did 2 shows a year. So you're talking $200 million for 2 shows a year. That's incredible. You know what? The fans didn't have to pay for it. The government paid for them. them. Everything was paid for the wrestlers, the WWE, and all the fans. The country, actually the government, paid for everything so the fans could enjoy themselves. There were 75,000 fans. It was incredible. I will say this, they didn't put me in great spots. You know, I think I did a Royal Rumble. I was an entrant of a Battle Royal. I also did like a 7-minute match with Dolph Ziggler. The match wasn't, you know, Dolph was great, don't get me wrong. But me at this point in time, I wasn't so great because I kind of lost a step at this particular time in my career, but it wasn't where I wanted to be. I was hoping more main event status, but still, the money was still really good. It was like I main evented a pay-per-view. That's the equivalency. Kurt Angle would also note on his show that his daughter saved him from drowning. Thank God my daughter is like an Olympic caliber swimmer. I even had the safety vest on me, but it wasn't working. I was still sinking. I can't swim, so I'm in trouble. I couldn't get above water. I was going under. She kept her composure, and the jet ski got away from us. It was like 50 feet away from us, and she didn't know whether to go to the jet ski or me, and she came over to me and saved my life. She pulled me over to the jet ski, swimming 50 yards with me in her hands, and then she pushed me. I couldn't get myself on the jet ski. My arms are so weak now because of my neck. I can't push myself up. So now she is putting her hands under my ass and pushing me up on the jet ski, and she got me up there. She jumped up behind me, and I said, "You know what, honey? You just saved my life." She really did. At a WWE live event, Sami Zayn faced Braun Strowman, where he ended up using a couple of signature moves of Roman Reigns. Here are the clips. Touching on Charlotte Flair's absence from WWE programming, Ric Flair told Corey Graves on After the Bell, "I'm so happy for her," and they're very, very happy. And you know what happened? It happened at a time where she could take a break, where they didn't get married and they go back to work. The arm thing with Ronda, and she got hit in the mouth in that same match and had a major issue with her teeth, which are from all the years of cheerleading, wrestling, and whatever else, but it was a well-deserved rest. I mean, sometimes it's good to walk away from it. There's certainly no loss of respect losing to Ronda Rousey. I mean, I thought they had a hell of a match, and it was a good opportunity for her to get away. She and Manny had an opportunity to spend a lot of time together. They bought a new home. I mean, it's really been good for them, but at the same time, I know how bad she wanted to get back into it. After a while, all that gets old, and now I want back in. Talking about Mercedes Mone potentially making her way to AEW, Paul Wight told TMZ Sports that, "I think she'd be a tremendous asset to any company. She's a star and has an incredible fan following. Any company would be glad to have her. For a long time, everyone got spoiled because there was one company to work for. Now there are multiple viable companies again to work for. It gives talents an opportunity to express themselves and create the deals they want to make. It gives a chance for someone stagnant in one company to reinvent themselves." It seems WWE has their eye on a star over in New Japan, with Sean Ross Sapp reporting that WWE has internally expressed interest in Tama Tonga. While we're told that the interest in possibly bringing in Tonga isn't new, World traveled through the NJPW locker room ahead of Wrestle Kingdom 17 and made its way to Fightful. Ironically enough, Tama Tonga faced WWE talent and never openweight champion Carl Anderson at Wrestle Kingdom 17, winning the title. Fellow pro wrestler and husband of Tessa Blanchard, Daga, would post an interesting tweet but ended up deleting it, as it reads, "Cheating is the most disgusting, hurtful, and disrespectful thing you could do to someone you say you love." With WWE possibly being purchased in the future, AEW champion MJF, who has hinted many times at a move to WWE in 2024, said this about corporations that could make that transaction. "I feel like I don't talk enough about how much I love Comcast, NBC Universal, Fox, Disney, Warner Brothers Discovery, Netflix, Amazon, Endeavor Group Holdings, and Liberty Media." WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas posted an odd video to his Twitter where he is getting punched and stomped by a woman.
Happy New Year!
While it's been said that the day-to-day of WWE will not be changing now that Vince McMahon is back on the board of directors, those in the company feel differently. As Steve Carey of Ringside News wrote, Vince McMahon is making a lot of noise right now with his WWE return. This move isn't well received internally. We're told that a majority of people within WWE do not see this as a positive thing. It would also be noted that we've heard a lot of fans who are worried about Vince McMahon taking over WWE creative again. We've been able to confirm that there are no signs of that yet, but there are those who are certain it will happen. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.